thank you for tuning in to the Visit the Northeast of Scotland podcast. In this episode, I met with outdoor enthusiast and business owner Lyle Smith from Granite Adventures. While sitting along the water's edge of the River Dee in Aberdeenshire, Lyle spoke about his enthusiasm for outdoor sports and the many ways we can get out and active in Aberdeenshire. Whether these are his favourite water sport activities or walking in the Cairn Gorms, Lyle believes anyone can get outside and active. Welcome to the podcast where we're going to be speaking about adventure tourism. This is our second podcast that we're going to be talking about adventure tourism. So this one will be focused predominantly on those people who are really looking for an adrenaline adventure. So active holidays. And obviously I thought you were the perfect candidate for speaking about this, as you have your own company, Granite Adventures, with a host of different outdoor activities. So can you tell us how you got started with your company?
So the company started 8 years ago now, mainly in kayaking, so delivering training for people looking for safety training, things like that, and we've expanded as time's gone on, and now doing a lot more adventure tourism, a lot of introduction type courses for people just looking to see a different way and a different part of the northeast from the normal.
So what does adventure tourism mean to you?
So for me, it's I guess it's what I like to do on holiday. It's, not having that kind of necessarily fully relaxed holiday. It's getting out there, seeing things in a different aspect. So it could be going and seeing the sea cliffs that we've got, our beautiful sea cliffs, exploring them by sea kayak. It could be canoeing or kayaking down the River Dee, where we've got some nice gentle sections and we've got some full-on adrenaline sections. So it's getting that for each and every one, and what they want to do is up to them. We've got so much on our doorstep.
Is this something you've done for a long time now? Because I think I saw from your profile you've been in the sports and adventure sports for about 16 years? It's been a long path for me, I guess. Started out kind of as a snowboard instructor, and then went into mountain biking, canoeing, kayaking, sup, hill walking, and so now offer a huge range of activities. So whatever the weather, I like to think we've got an activity that suits. For you, what is the one thing that you think is unique about Aberdeenshire?
I think it's just how close we have everything around us. We have the opportunity, as I say, of the sea and the mountains pretty much on our doorstep, and it's just a fantastic opportunity for that. And obviously we've got the Royals in residence in summer at this kind of time of year, and people often like to take in that part of the country as well. So whether it's hiking on Loch Nagar, which is at the back of the Balmoral estate, or taking walks through the forest there, a lot of people like to see that kind of area. From
Aberdeenshire's perspective, there's a lot of opportunities to do different types of activities. Our landscape really lends itself to a huge range. Are you focused seasonally on different sports?
We've got the kit so that we can be quite flexible. So if it's paddle sports, for example, we do have good quality wetsuits which keeps our clients nice and warm. So it doesn't have to be a summer thing. We can extend the season out by having good quality equipment to make sure people aren't getting frozen. Because of where we are, we've got the benefits of the sea, the beautiful coastline we've got, and then as we move up Donside and Royal Dee side, we've got the mountains, which are just perfect for mountain biking, hill walking. We've got gorge walking up in the Cairn Gorms as well, and it's all within a very short distance of Aberdeen, and we can get up towards the Cairn Gorm Plateau, which is just a fantastic place to be.
Mm-hmm. There are hills that we call Munros, and we've got Corbetts, and we have the Grampian mountain range. Can you explain to us the difference between a Corbett and a Munro?
Sure. So a Munro is any mountain that's over 3,000 feet in Scotland. A Corbett is anything between 2,500 feet and 3,000 feet. So in Scotland we've got 282 Munros, and in the northeast from Aberdeen you can do a day trip probably to around 15-20 of them, without having to venture too far. And a lot of them are very accessible, so people who haven't walked before, although it's quite a high altitude, we do have some relatively easy paths to some of them, and obviously some of them are more challenging, so we really do have something for everyone.
When somebody does a hill walk and might not be familiar with some of our hills and some of our mountains, what are some of the things they need to be aware of before they go out on a hill walk?
I guess the main thing is a bit about preparation, so making sure that we've got the correct equipment for what we might have during the day. In Scotland we do have very changeable weather, so while we might start off on a beautiful day at the bottom of the hill, it is always worth having our waterproofs to make sure that it's we're going to have a good day.
Yes, absolutely. You were telling me this morning you were out this weekend on a kayaking adventure here on the River Dee. Can you tell us a bit about the group that you were with?
Yeah, so the group I was with lockdown restrictions, etc., we were kind of working with a local group, so they were all just interested in getting out and exploring the Dee and whitewater kayak, so they'd never really done it before, so it's brilliant, great for me to introduce people to a sport that I love. And we headed off from where we're sat right now down into Aberdeen, which is a kind of unique way to see the city. Coming into the city via the river as opposed to one of the roads is very different, so I think they all really appreciated that. And then the next day we decided to head further upstream and come down to where we are now, which provided a bit more challenge for them and gave them an opportunity to develop their skills. So they had a really good weekend, and we were very fortunate with the weather as well. It worked really well for us.
What are the benefits for people in participating in outdoor activities and adventures?
I think there's a huge range of benefits, especially as we come out of the lockdown where we are now. People getting out to explore, for both for physical and mental health, it's very important. Hopefully lots of people have been able to remain active through the period, but it has been very restrictive. So now I think people are really seeing the benefits, and I've certainly noticed a lot more inquiries from people looking to try new things. I think in lockdown they've been surfing the internet and seeing new things they fancy trying, and they've come out and joined me, and I'm sure they've gone out and do lots of other adventures as well, which have been great for them. Just getting out gives a huge benefit for our mental health. Having the natural space and reconnecting with wildlife is hugely important.
It is. I think particularly in this whole lockdown scenario this year, people are looking closer to home and looking for alternatives, because getting out for their hour's worth of exercise, as was kind of dictated at the beginning of the year, it meant that people were getting a lot more creative with what they were doing and looking for other avenues. And also those people who were in the gym for years are now looking at other ways to keep their fitness going and to build their stamina and endurance, and getting outside has a lot of opportunities for that.
Yeah, definitely, and I think it's been a really interesting time for people. They've kind of become tourists on their own doorstep, and the amount of people that have said to me, "Oh, I didn't realise these amazing trails existed on my doorstep, or these amazing walks." Just places they'd never really explored too far. They've always jumped in the car, driven half an hour and went to their usual places. And it's been really great that they've been connecting with their local landscapes and seeing what they've got really on their doorstep. And sometimes I'll be asked to take people out, and sometimes they will be keen to stay local and we can explore places they've never found before, and equally they're keen to get a bit further away and find new places, hidden gems.
Well, I was just going to ask, for those people who you've been speaking with that are local, what are the top places that they've rediscovered?
I think for me so far this year, a lot of it's been about the water. So I've done a lot of activities both on the sea and on the river. And I think people just don't realise, things are a bit hidden. They don't realise what a stunning coastline we've got, for example, south of Stonehaven. I mean, the northeast coastline as a whole is beautiful. But, you take people down there into the caves, we see some fantastic wildlife like seals and puffins, if you're lucky, maybe dolphins. And this is the kind of thing people might do when they're on holiday in the Med, but they maybe don't think about doing it in Aberdeen. And it's been brilliant to see people's reactions and how much they've enjoyed exploring our local opportunities.
If you had a weekend free, which at the moment I'm sure you don't with your different activities, where would you go if you had a weekend to go and explore?
I think, to be honest, just now I'd just like to get up into the mountains, just the ones we've got around here. The Grampian Mountains and this side of the Cairngorm are just beautiful. And as we come into this time of year, the heather's out in bloom, so we've got beautiful sights, and the landscape's just stunning just now. So yeah, I think that, and maybe just do a little bit of kayaking down the Dee as well.
And for those people who haven't been to Aberdeenshire before, what would you say to attract them into the area?
I think the northeast, it's a beautiful part of the country of Scotland. It often gets a bit overlooked. People think about going to try and find Nessie, so they head for Inverness, and they obviously head to the beautiful capital Edinburgh. But in Aberdeen we've got a huge amount as well. We've got over 400 castles in Aberdeenshire. We've got some fantastic coastlines, fantastic scenery, and some really nice hospitality as well. So you'll find good quality hospitality here. So, they can have it all, and also it might be a little bit quieter, so they might not be sharing that space with the same numbers of people that they might be if they're in Loch Ness and places like that at the moment, which are always very busy.
Tell us a bit more about Granite Adventures and setting up your company. Have you had any challenges in getting established in the Northeast?
I guess the challenge is just getting your name out there. Finding the people you don't know is always the challenge, I guess, for any business. So that's getting slowly but surely better. Obviously, word of mouth is my main advertising, to be honest. If people have come out and had a great experience with us, then they'll talk with their friends. So that's been amazing. And the amount of people that have come into me saying, "Oh, my friend was out with you and they said how good it was, so that's why I've decided to come out." That's just fantastic to hear that and get that kind of building up. And obviously this year's been a huge challenge. The diary, etc., was looking very healthy for this year, and obviously with COVID that's changed, but it's been an interesting one because there's kind of been a little bit of a refocus, and I think I've got a lot more local clients coming out who maybe necessarily wouldn't have done so. They might have went on holiday in other years, whereas this year that's not been an option. So I think we're just experiencing a change at the moment, which is an interesting one.
You were telling me as well that you have another company, so you work with Race Fox. You do timings for different races. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so Race Fox are an event timing and event support company. So we do electronic chip timing for half marathons that are in the dark, for adventure 10Ks that are obstacle races like mud races. We time 5Ks and things like that. So if people want to come to the Northeast and challenge themselves, we certainly have a lot of events going on as well. The Illuminator, for example, the half marathon in the dark is just fantastic. People get all lit up for it, and it's a great spectacle to see them running through Glen Tanner with all their fluorescent colours on. And the other one that we're heavily involved with is the Beast Race, and that's a obstacle 10k race near Bankery in Aberdeenshire. And again, it's fantastic to see the smiles of people crossing the finish line after challenging themselves through these events. So yeah, even if it's not to come and see the scenery, you can come and enjoy and challenge yourself with a half marathon in the dark, for example.
That does sound like a really big challenge to me. There has been a bit of an effort and a focus, I think, in the last couple of years on developing activities and adventure tourism in the Northeast. So we have Gravitate Northeast opening up, hopefully in the not too distant future. What other types of things would you like to see if we had a magic wand and could create something?
I think some of the things we could use are maybe just some easier access to some locations. So we do have some fantastic locations. Some of them are a little bit challenging when we're trying to get there with canoes and things like that. So there are some projects I'd like to see happen on that front. But to be honest, we're very fortunate. I think what we have on our doorstep is amazing, and obviously projects like Gravitate will provide huge benefit. For mountain bikers, it's usually all about the downhill, so if we do get an uplift there, to not have to pedal to the top of the hill will be incredible, and I'm sure I'll have a few clients who will be delighted about that. But yeah, we are very fortunate.
Is there anything that we haven't covered in this kind of conversation that you think is useful or important for people who want to come to the Northeast?
I think for the Northeast, they just need to explore a little and see what's there. You know, I think people will often dip into Royal Deeside because obviously the royal connection. But, you know, if you come and spend a bit longer, you'll find a huge amount more. And, you know, it can be the historic aspect and seeing some of the castles that we've got and doing a tour, for example. But we've also got adventure tourism, so as well as myself, there's a huge range of providers who will take people out and explore different aspects, no matter what kind of activity you want to do, whether it's paddle sports, hill walking, all sorts, to be honest. There's something for everyone, to be honest.
So something for everyone means that you don't necessarily have to be fit to be able to participate?
Oh, definitely. My activities are very much tailored. So if I've got clients who want to really challenge themselves, then brilliant, I'll take them and do that. But we have things that are definitely less challenging, but still very stunning and very beautiful. So they can still explore and see the other side of Aberdeenshire.
Lyle, thank you for telling us about your experiences in the great outdoors. I hope this encourages people to give adventure sports a go when they next look for something to do and they visit Aberdeen. I'd also like to remind listeners that more information can be found along with handy links on the blog pages of our website. It's been a pleasure to meet you, and I look forward to seeing people out on the water with you soon.
Thank you very much for having me.